I'm the Jake Whale. Welcome back to Bad 90s Music. We've touched on dance music a little bit on this show, but so far I don't think any of these episodes, whether it's focused on a particular artist or it's a mixtape edition, has really succeeded in capturing the essence of what dancing actually felt like in the 90s. So this is it. I'll attempt to do justice to Miami bass, urban dance, and party rap music once and for all. Yeah, good luck with that. Kind of seems like a doomed venture already, doesn't it? Dancing is an inherently in-the-moment act. The music that is remembered as the most danceable of a particular decade rarely tends to age well. If you really want to turn the party out, you'll put on something modern. This stuff doesn't exactly have the longest shelf life for a reason. Once the people who still recognize your stuff stop dancing, you've sort of outlived your usefulness. However, once in a while, something does break through and manage to stick around a little. And I'm not saying that Quad City DJs necessarily earn that distinction, or that they're more deserving of longevity than any others. But I'd be lying if I said that this didn't make some kind of lasting impression on me as a young listener. I mean, am I crazy or is this a legit banger? There's no way in hell I'm the only person who still feels this way. Somebody out there, holler at me, I'm foundering here. I feel like a crazy person. This is a memorable song. I stand by my judgment. No, just me. Somehow I get the feeling that this has been completely forgotten. First of all, it's very difficult to find a whole lot of verifiable information about this group. Their Wikipedia page is a stub. Hell, this might not even be the song that most people remember by the most, but I'll get to that later. When you hear this, it kind of sets Quad City DJs apart from any other dance and bass groups of the 90s, as they appear to actually be a two-piece male-female rap group of some sort. Their lineup situation seems somewhat straightforward on the surface. Okay, so the guy raps, the girl sings the hook, maybe there's a producer or two behind the boards. While that is basically true, the fact is, the two main producers, CeCe Lemonhead and Jay Ski, were actually making songs together for years before they formed Quad City DJ, with singer Jelana DeFleur and producer Adam Martin. Jay Ski and CeCe Lemonhead met each other going to high school together in Jacksonville, Florida. Their initial project together was a group called Chill Deal, and one of this team's early claims to fame was production work on a track by Icy J called It Takes a Real Man. You might notice it uses the same sample from It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. That woo, yeah, woo, yeah, which is on purpose. This is basically a diss track, I think. Sort of in the vein of Roxanne Shanté's response to UTFO back in the day. I guess maybe it turns out it doesn't take two. Later on, CeCe Lemonhead and Jay Ski formed the group 95 South, which became well known for the song Woot There It Is. No, sorry, wrong one. That's Whoomp There It Is by Tag Team, the other blank There It Is song from 1993, aka the one people actually remember. This is Whoop There It Is by 95 South. Well, at least that song answers the question, there what is, where the booty at? That was a total coincidence, by the way. The 95 South song actually came out the month before the Tag Team song. Not that it made any difference. After this, Jay Ski and CeCe Lemonhead would go on to produce the song Tootsie Roll by... Really? That's what they're called? Okay. Okay. This song is by 69 Boys.
The butterfly, that's all. Let me see the Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. Here we go, Tootsie Roll. Just let that Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. Let me see that.
Well, isn't that nice? Now's, I think, as good a time as any to talk about Miami bass, which is the genre that a lot of this stuff is associated with. Honestly, back then, we just called it booty music, unironically. But that nomenclature seems to have fallen out of favor. If you can't tell by listening to it, what it is basically this really simplistic, rhythm-heavy, bass-inflected, up-tempo dance sound. The style sort of started in the 80s with groups like Mantronix and Two Live Crew. Later on, in the 90s, dudes like Freak Nasty would have some mainstream success with the same kind of stuff. Just think of it as this persistent, rattling, reverberating sound with the super hyped dudes yelling over the top of it. So, a few artists out of that tradition scored some hits, but it never really grew enough in popularity to overtake the other popular styles of the time. In fact, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard charts This just might be the biggest song that ever came out of that whole scene. This is Come On and Ride It, The Train, by Quad City DJs, from their 1996 album Get On Up and Dance. Right away, you might notice it has a little more going for it than some of those other songs that you just heard. First of all, the vocals of Jelana DeFleur, while not dazzling by any means, are far more melodic than the majority of this genre. But then you also have this sample right here from Barry White's theme from Together Brothers. Oh yeah, damn right Barry White was as legit as hell. It's amazing to me that no other rapper had sampled this song previously. This should have been the first rap sample. It's just so tight and forceful, yet smooth and dramatic at the same time, and it perfectly captures his sense of blaxploitation style, urban unease and urgency, which is a perfect backdrop to lay down some serious rhymes. Hell, Superfreak got sampled for You Can't Touch This only 7 years after its release. Meanwhile, this track was just sitting there since 1974 waiting to be picked up. I guess it just wasn't as well known. Okay, so actually this song was also sampled by Luke from 2 Live Crew in the same year, but honestly I think The Train is better. The decision to keep the sample in the same key and the tempo as the original was the right one. Sorry, Luke. So with that out of the way, what else stands out about The Train? Well, Jay Ski is doing all the rapping in this track, just like he did with 95 South, but to me it fits better with this style. The Miami-based rapping style was not complex. He's not even so much rapping here as he is chanting. In fact, that's kind of what the whole song consists of. Just these chants or these hooks laid out one after the other with absolutely no breathing room in between. As soon as one hook ends, another one jumps in and just repeats over and over like that. The song doesn't so much have structure as it has a mandate to just keep the party going. Alright, keep the train going, down the line, down the line. This was one of the biggest songs of its year, and I don't know why it didn't lead to them having a longer career. Like I said, I can't find a whole lot of details about what in God's name happened to this group after this. As for the rest of the album, Get On Up and Dance, beyond The Train, there's really not much else to say about it. It's pretty much what you'd expect out of a dance album from 1996. The band's artwork and logo seem to suggest some kind of throwback 70s quality, which the music never quite delivers on. This is the second single, Summer Jam, a song which functions as a critique of the myth of individual liberty as perpetuated by free market capitalism, and how it actually necessitates the dehumanization of the self by reducing one's priorities to base commodities attainable only through exploitation of the most vulnerable and powerless segments of our global society.
I like when I was a young lady, be out on the beach, trying to creep, full deep in the convertible Jeep.
Okay, I lied. It's just another generic dance song. Peaking in the United States at number 105, making it decidedly not the jam of that summer. You'll notice the use of the sample from Sister Sledge's We Are Family, which is another half measure towards reviving a 70s aesthetic, but it doesn't really have all that much else going for it. Much of the album is the same way, unfortunately. An interesting moment here or there among a mostly interchangeable set of beats and grooves. Other than this album, the group did nothing else that I could find in the 90s, except for one song, which you may very well already know.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, you wanna jam.
Yep, they did the theme song for the soundtrack to the movie Space Jam. A ridiculously unrealistic movie where Sean Bradley is one of the most talented basketball players in the world, and we're supposed to believe that Michael Jordan is an actual human being and not just a cartoon character to begin with. Straight up, I don't like this song. Unlike The Train, it gives away basically everything that it's about within the first 10 seconds, so there's really no reason to keep listening to it beyond that. Honestly, Space Jam should just be forgotten altogether. Don't try to make movies into memes, people. So, what did Quad City DJs do after that? Seriously, someone tell me. The only other official release I could find credited to them is something called All-Star Christmas, which appears to be a mixtape featuring a lot of associates from the Miami-based scene. But that was it. They don't appear to have done much, if any, performing, recording, or press in the last 20-odd years. Even with peak 90s nostalgia hitting its stride, finally, short of getting in contact with the members themselves, you're not going to find a whole lot of information about this group. A lot of it might have to do with the somewhat disposable nature of dance music anyway, which is seen as a less personal form of expression, fairly or unfairly, and I think that's a shame. I choose to think they invested their money wisely off of their smash hit, and continue to live off the residuals to this day. So, God bless you, Quad City DJs, wherever you are. I'm the Jake Whale, this was Bad 90s Music. I'll see you sometime in the future.
Run away, take back.